Hammersmith, it's Nicole here, just giving you a really quick maths video to help you with your maths this week. So last week we started looking at multiplication, and this week we're going to start looking at the inverse of multiplication, which is division. Okay, so multiplication, which is times, the inverse, the opposite of that, is divide. Okay, so it's this symbol here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a line with two dots. Okay, so when we are dividing something, we start with a big number and we share it, or we group it. Okay, so we are starting with a big number and then we are dividing it into groups. So we could be sharing. Here I've got six dots, and if I shared them between two people, I would get 3 for each person. But there's also a different way of doing it, which you've been looking at. So you've been looking at sharing between people or grouping. That's when you group numbers into smaller numbers. So I've got 6 here, and I'm going to group it into 2s, and I get 3 of them. That's what I've done there. Now, when thinking about division, because it is the inverse, the opposite of times, we can use our multiplication facts to help us with working out divisions. So here, I've got the fact 2 times 5 equals 10. 2 lots of 5 equals 10. And the divisions I know from that, start with the big number, 10, I can divide that by 2 and that equals 5. Same numbers in the number sentence, but another way round, it's the other way round. So 10 divided by 2, so if I have 10 things and I share them between 2, or I group them into 2s, I would get 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2, so I can swap those numbers around, but I still get the same answer. So I can use my multiplication facts to help me with my divisions, because sometimes we don't have, or the number's too big to do our division by sharing things out, so we do need to use our multiplication facts. Now, as I said before, there are 2 ways that we can divide. There's sharing and there's grouping. So here I have 8 apples. 2, 4, 6, 8 apples. And the first way I'm going to divide them, I'm going to divide by 4. So I need to divide 8 by 4. So the first way I'm going to do sharing. So I've got my 8 apples and I'm going to share them into 4 equal same groups. So take this apple, put it in here, this apple here, now I can see that I have 2 in each group. 2, 2, 2, 2. 4 groups of 2. Now the other way that we can do division is by doing grouping, and that's putting them into groups of whatever your divisor is, whatever you're dividing by. Groups of 4. So 8 divided by 4, I'm going to group them. So I'm going to group them into groups of 4. Here's 4 apples, and here's 4 apples. Again, the answer is 2 because I have 2 groups. Okay? I have 1 group, I have 2 groups. So the answer is 2, both ways.